Meat bicycle!
Hello everybody, welcome back to Borderlands, the pre-sequel. So today I'm going to be kicking off a brand new Legendary Weapon Guide series for the pre-sequel. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. You've already, covered all of these kind of things. Technically yes and technically no. I have covered a full guide on legendary locations, so basically just where to get the legendary weapons from. And I thought, I've never done a full in-depth guide on these legendary weapons. I always bring how to get them, where to go to get them, but I've never actually, just sat down and analysed every single weapon for, parts, stats, things like that, and just generally a bit of background behind the weapon. So today I'm starting off that, and we're going to be kicking off with a legendary weapon guide on the Legendary SMG The Fatale. So this is a Hyperion SMG, and it is personally one of my favourite SMGs in the game, so I thought I'd start off with that one, and yeah, let's begin the legendary weapon guide then. So first off, where and how do we get the Fatale? Well, you want to be heading to the Outlands Canyon, and the guy who actually drops it is called Drongo Bones. Now, to do this, you need to unlock the side mission, which you get pretty late on in the game, really, from Nurse Nina in Concordia, called Rough Love. It's the Rough Love side mission you'll need. That is where you take some flowers and chocolates and that, and then go and find a suitable mate for Nurse Nina. And this guy is the actual second person you go to. So you'll start off by going to a guy in Triton Flats called Meathead, I think. And then after you end up killing him, she will send you to go and see Drongo Bones. So once you've finished that mission, hand it in, and now you can come back and farm Drongo Bones as many times as you want until you can get the Fatale. So that is exactly how and where you get the Legendary Fatale SMG. Okay, so let's go into a bit more detail then about this weapon. So we'll get a bit of an overview going right here. So like I've already said, it is a Legendary SMG manufactured by Hyperion. The red text says Stone Cold Killer. The weapon effects are you lose your weapon accuracy and recoil reduction. So on this one we've got 26% minus weapon accuracy and minus 125% weapon recoil reduction, but it does say firing increases accuracy. So it also has increased critical hit damage as well. That's plus 75% on this particular one. The element available for this weapon, unfortunately, it only comes in the cryo element. But it does say as well that the benefit of this is it freezes enemies solid, so you can't get it in any other element apart from cryo. It comes in a variety of prefixes, including right sizing, which is damage, cutting edge, which is melee, that'll have a nice big blade on it, and analytical, which is accuracy, proactive is increased bullet speed, corporate is better stability, and social is reload speed. Now, just to go into a bit more description about the weapon effect, it does say on the official wiki page for this, despite the stats listed on the item card, in sustained fire the Fatale reaches its peak accuracy faster than most other Hyperion SMGs, even those of similar or higher levels. Its large magazine, high maximum accuracy and critical hit damage bonus make it an excellent choice for almost any combat situation, especially attaining a second wind. Its only real drawback is that it is weak against cryo-resistant enemies, which are particularly prevalent on true Vault Hunter mode or higher. So that just goes into a bit more detail really about the actual losses and gains of the special weapons effects. So, a little bit of trivia as well on this gun. Fatale is actually French feminine variant for fatal. So in France, or in the French language, fatale is feminine for fatal. example of this is a femme fatale, which a lot of people may have heard of, and that is a very seductive and mysterious woman. So interesting there, to learn about the name of the actual gun. Also, the Fatale is very nearly the same as the bitch from Borderlands 2. So if you remember the bitch from Borderlands 2, this gun is pretty much very similar to it. So let's go ahead and compare it with another weapon of a similar variant. So the closest weapon I can think of in its class is the Torrent. That is very similar indeed to the actual Fatale. Now this Torrent I've got is exactly the same level, exactly the same element, pretty much the same exactly as the Fatale, other than it being another gun obviously. So we can get good results by comparing these, and at first if you look at it, it seems that the Torrent absolutely trounces the Fatale in every single way but one. It's much higher damage, better fire rate, better reload speed, mag size. They both have the same cryo damage and freeze chance. The Fatale does have a few more weapon effects than the Torrent, but yeah, apart from the accuracy, the Fatale seems to lose against the Torrent in everything. But is that, a massive victory for the Torrent? I'd say not really. Yes, it's good to have high damage, good to have good fire rate. The Torrent is a good SMG, definitely. And I'm not saying it's worse or better than the Fatale, but the accuracy in the Fatale is just absolutely brilliant. It really is one of the highest accuracies I've ever seen in an SMG, and that really does make it worthwhile for general mobbing and just hip firing. It's a hip fire machine. You can, just pure accuracy, it really does benefit it. And although you've got a few minuses in the special effects, like the weapon accuracy and recoil reduction, when it says firing increases accuracy, it really does. This thing gets better the more you fire it, and for that, I think it's a damn good SMG, really. So, coming towards the end of the guide now, but just before we hit a conclusion, I just wanted to discuss what it was like against mobs and just general bosses as well. So against mobs, really, this thing is brilliant. You can, from far away or really up close, you can just sit there, hip fire away, or even aim down the sight, and it just gets more accurate, and also, just keeps on chipping away at everything. The only problem is, like I'm going to say against bosses as well, is especially higher level, if anything has a shield, you may struggle a bit at the start, so the best thing to do is to strip that shield off, and then it will start to really chip away at the enemy. You can use them without, you can still use it if the enemy does have shields, but you really will have to just sit there for a while going against it. The very same with bosses. It's not the best weapon to use against bosses, this. It's not a very high damage. There are definitely better weapons in their class, and if the boss has got a big shield, you won't be able to do much there. But for general mobbing, it's much better. And if you go up against a boss, I would switch to another weapon, in my opinion. So, conclusion on this weapon. Well, like we've seen, there's been many ups and downs. Compared to, say, the Torrent, it does look like it is a lot worse than it. It's not a bad SMG in general. It's just not as good as the Torrent in many ways, especially. But the accuracy is the big thing against this weapon. That really is what it is for, to hip fire away and go up against bosses, and it gets more accurate the more you fire it as well. It is a good mobbing weapon, definitely, but like I've just said, against bosses, you're gonna struggle a little bit. My biggest recommendation: strip them shields off with a shot grenade and then just fire away. Maybe get a bit of distance on a boss. Use the accuracy advantage to kind of use it as a long-range assault rifle kind of thing, something like that. But yeah, a rating out of 10 on this weapon, I would say it deserves an 8.5 out of 10, definitely. I'm tempted to give it a 9, but just the fact that when you compare it to others in its class, it is not as good. But yeah, definitely a really good weapon, and like I said at the beginning, this is probably one of my favourite SMGs. So that's it anyway, guys. That is a Ultimate Vault Hunter Mode Legendary Weapon Guide, first of many, hopefully. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I'd like to hear your opinions on this legendary weapon in the comments below. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Meat bicycle!